Greetings and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the AoE elitist drama that stirred up some eyes on the community again, and this time we have the problem that, this grew up quite heavily and it's been discussed by Xeno already, and he has a 40,000 click video on that problem. And I think I have a very easy solution, which I was quite curious why Xeno didn't mention that, but it's definitely one that is also putting us into a spot where I want to highlight a very easy way of dealing with these kinds of problems. But yeah, what happened? First of all, we had main tank that seemed to have a chat discussion copied or screenshotted here, and we have some problematic communication happening here. You can read it for yourself, but it's basically just somebody doesn't do AoE attacks when, you are a tank and supposed to do that even on the normal mode content. And Xeno already talked about that doing your AoE rotation is not more difficult than doing your single target rotation. The only thing that is more easy that is just clicking on a target. And that's, as basic Diablo knowledge as it can get. And I think a Final Fantasy XIV and MMO player should be able to at least press 2 or 3 buttons. We also have talked about the problem of not having the skills or capabilities to play the game properly, which I'm actually not sure. And also Xeno agreed on this topic too, that there are certain ways to help you out in that scenario, in that case, that you're not able to play the game properly. You will definitely be able to do that for some basic stuff and doing your basic AoE rotation. And in this discussion here, it kind of seemed that somebody's defending the problematic tank in a way that's, in my opinion, absolutely stupid, because you can see how much time these two people spend on this discussion here, which could easily be spent to explain the other player how to do that. We could have also talked about a situation where somebody just invited a friend to play with each other, and he had two computers or anything like that, or one played on a PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and one played on a computer, and just some kids that want to play games together. And one player was an experienced Final Fantasy XIV player, the other player didn't know anything about the game, and just he told him, hey, come, let's play it. You can tank that. It's easy. Don't worry. You just have to press a button, or don't have to do some crazy stuff there. I think that's one of the situations where I could imagine that happened. And in my opinion, there's one easy solution: tank yourself. Become a tank, and everything's easy as hell. I never have gone into a dungeon being a tank and experienced any problem. It's in normal content. If you're dealing with normal content and you are able to level up a tank, which is an easy thing to do, especially if you're taking just the Gunbreaker, which you can already start on level 60, for example, you are having an easy time to get to max level very quickly with all the dungeon grinds. You have insta queues and an easy way to deal with that. And in my opinion, and in my experience so far, I never had a single dungeon when I was tanking that was so problematic that I needed to talk to people in chat and teach them a lesson, or teach them how the game works and what they're doing wrong, or anything like that. But of course, this stirs up another question, in my opinion, something that's a more problematic one, because is it elitist if you talk about somebody, or if you want to advise somebody about doing something wrong, or you want to correct them in their actions? And I think that's definitely a problem that had been in the community for quite a while, at least since I'm doing content creation, because the moment you're talking about advice, or the moment you're recommending people to play differently, there are many players that sees this as an attack directly, and without any other thought, and without any second chance of people just wanting to be helpful. And that's, in my opinion, a very big problem. People are getting hurt very quick. Of course, I always talked about that when I did my tanking guides, or when I talk about beginner advice. If you're writing down in the most polite way that you could offer I can't believe that anybody is getting attacked by that. So I always have the example of when I did E2 Savage, so Eden's Gate 2 Savage, where we had a group where it was basically just us lacking some damage. And for that amount of damage that was lacking, there was a big factor coming from a ninja player that we had in the party. And I was just trying to be as polite as possible, talking to the ninja and telling him, hey, could you try out another rotation? Or could you try on a dummy target to improve your rotation a bit? And he was absolutely welcoming that advice and that help. But yeah, of course, there are a couple of sources to lead people to the balance. Atro, you could try out other content creators that really invest time into maxing out their skill level on a certain job or anything like that. But yeah, of course, you're not forced or not expected to be dealing with people and treating on eggshells all the time. If you're just telling them in a polite manner that they do something wrong and here is the advice how to do it better, then I think you should not react, or you should not expect a reaction like this that's happened here. It's not his fault you're impatient. I mean, that's the first thing the other person wrote, and that's definitely a bit toxic and definitely unreasonable response. But yeah, my biggest advice, you can just play a tank yourself. Check out my tanking for beginners videos. Tanking in Final Fantasy XIV, in my opinion, is actually easier than dealing damage. Because, for example, another good advice here, I just did my 24 people alliance raid because I'm farming my tank gear, trying to maximize my warrior gear right now to, yeah, be able to solo more content from past expansions. And that actually led me to dealing with alliance raids as a tank more often than I would normally do, because normally I'm trying to do that with machinist and summoner, optimizing my rotation, trying to push my damage output a bit. But as a tank now, I was astonished how easy it is. You can basically ignore mechanics entirely, and that's crazy. That's definitely something I feel like is overpowered a bit, and you should be able to harness that power by just leveling up a tank. And leveling up a tank, like I said, Gunbreaker starts on 50. Paladin, you can start from the ground level up. So if you're starting Final Fantasy from new, you can start that. Warriors, the same way. That's the best way to deal with that problem and be the hero of the dungeon yourself. Definitely leave a visit to WeskAlber's comprehensive job guides. They're among the best job guides on YouTube and will definitely get you started in about an hour for each job, everything you need to know. So definitely check these out. You will find his channel in the description as well. And of course, check out my other basic tanking, basic healing, or all the other videos about jobs. If you're, for example, unsure if tanking is actually something you can perform quite nice at, or if that's something that you feel capable of doing. And I can only recommend to try it out, give it a chance. It's definitely much easier than people think it is. And especially in just casual content, if you're not tackling any extreme trial, any hard content like Savage or Ultimates, you're not having a problem. You're actually getting quite some big benefits being a tank, because AoE skills don't hurt you at all. Yeah, that's it. I hope I can clarify the situation a bit, and I would only recommend for both parties to be a bit more understanding and polite to each other and try to address the problems that come up through the whole situation. And I think that's on the part of the casual side because of not having any clue what to do with their job and class. And on the other hand, try to just be the tank yourself. Then you don't have to deal with all this stuff and crap at all, because you can play a warrior and you can solo that dungeon without any party member at all. You don't need a healer that needs to heal you, and yeah, the damage output of your party is not that important. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, wonderful start into the week, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.